This video goes over how to do daily checks for PPC clients. There are three main things that we check every day for each client that runs AdWords. We check their daily budget to make sure they're not maxed out. We check to make sure they're getting clicks and conversions. And we also check their search terms to see if there are any terms that we need to add to their negative keywords list. So when we're checking for budget, that's going to be right here. This cost box shows what they've currently spent for the month in ads. Each client has a different budget for the month that they're willing to spend, and that's what this number down here is. So dependable HVAC campaigns have spent $1,280.98 of their $1,500, so they're good. They're not maxed out. One thing you want to keep an eye out for is, say it was July 5th and they had already spent $1,200. They still have almost 3 or 4 weeks left in the month to use up that budget, and they've already spent most of it. So you would want to let Nate know, hey Nate, Dependable has spent $1,200 of their $1,500 and it's only the 5th. Do you want me to pause it, or do you want to turn down ads? And he'll make the decision of what to do, how to fix that. You're rarely, if ever, going to see somebody who's spent $1,280 by the 5th of the month. That would lead us to believe that something is wrong with the ads. Something has been turned up too high by accident. So we'll go in and investigate that. The next thing you're going to look at on this data sheet is going to be the clicks and conversions chart. You just want to make sure that it's trending as it normally does. This right here, this all looks normal. If it was July 5th and it stopped and it was flatlined like this here on both of these lines, if they weren't getting any clicks and conversions and they go through till, say it's what's today, July 26th, like that, something is definitely up. If you know they weren't supposed to be paused, so we would want to look into that. But you want to catch that before it's been 3 weeks and they've not had any clicks or conversions and you just notice it. So if you notice a couple days that it's flatlined or they're not getting very many clicks or conversions like they normally do, and you know that those ads are enabled, then you would want to, again, alert Nate and let him know, hey, it's flatlined, the campaigns are on, I checked to make sure they're on. The most common thing would be you maybe paused them on the 5th and you forgot to enable them when you were supposed to. Sometimes clients will say, hey, we're really busy, can you pause the ads? And we'll tell you when to turn them back on, or turn them back on the 17th. So you'll make notes up here for stuff like that. You can see we have notes right here on June 5th. We paused the HVAC campaigns because they were overbooked. They didn't need the ads on. They were busy enough. And what I do is I actually make, you can go up here to edit this notes portion. I think the best thing to do is when you pause the campaign, write it in like this and say enable on 6/26. And what I would do is highlight that, make it bold and red, so that every time you come in here, you can look and see, okay, enable it on the 26th. All right, it's not the 26th yet. I don't need to worry about that yet. And then on the 26th, when you go in and you turn those ads back on, you can come in here and make it say enabled, so you know you did it, and then turn this back to white and unbold so that doesn't catch your attention again. But again, I would make it bold and red, the instruction for what's coming up for when you need to turn it on or off or whatever. That way you don't miss it. To get back out of this edit view, you just click view. So that's budget, and then clicks and conversions. The next thing is keyword checks. This chart right here will show you all the search terms that somebody searched for and our ad came up. What we want to do is look at the previous day's terms. So today's the 26th, so we'd go through and we would look at all these for the 25th. And if there's anything that comes up in these search terms that you know the client does not do, we want to add that word as a negative in AdWords so that the ad does not show when somebody searches for that term. Because if they click on it, then they're spending money on something that they're going to have to tell the customer, no, we don't service that anyway. For example, most of our clients are appliance repair companies, so we have a negative word for phone. Nobody we work with repairs phones. We would not want that coming up. We would not want our ads coming up if somebody searches phone repair in Scottsdale. So that's what you're looking for there. It looks like all of these are fine search terms. Another thing to look for is you'll get familiar and know where each client is. This one is in Atlanta, Georgia. If something comes up that says HVAC repair, Alabama, that's a whole different state. They don't service Alabama, so we would want to add Alabama to their negative keyword list. And you can scroll through like this, but you're going to do it day to day, so you're not going to be looking at this whole list. Some clients are going to have way more clicks than others. Some are going to spend their budget faster. Some are going to barely spend any at all. Some will have way more search terms. Some will just have a few a day. So the best thing is to really, after you've done it a little bit, you'll get used to what's normal for that particular client. And you can look back and see when you start doing this, okay, they get this many search terms roughly every day. If every day they say get 50 search terms, and then one day pops up, they don't have any search terms listed here, this is at 0, they haven't spent any more money, then you might want to go in and investigate and again make sure their ads are on if they're supposed to be, stuff like that. So you just are going to arrow through and go through each client every day. These guys have spent 230 of their 1,500. You can see they had flatlined. They weren't getting any clicks or conversions, and then you see this big old spike. So back here, after a couple days of this, I let Nate know, hey, they're flatlined on clicks and conversions for several days now. And so he went in and he kind of investigated, and I believe he turned their ads up so that they'd be more likely to get clicks. So that's why there's this big spike. So that's an example of that. And then again, they're all set up just like this, same format for everyone, and then you have your notes here. Something to watch out for is if something looks weird, like if the graph looks weird, like they're all zeros or something. Something that happens once in a blue moon is this date gets changed. You don't have to ever change this. It changes automatically every month so that it shows you the whole month on this graph and in these terms. But once in a while, this date might get changed, and so that might be a reason why it looks funny. So there's a whole list in here of every client that needs to be checked. So we'll go through each of those, and you'll have your initial beside the one that you need to check, or the ones that you need to check.